I think for the first 6 months, I didn't know what a stop loss was. Personal trading account, last year I did 50% return on investment. Every trader should be trading both. I think if you're making money from prop firms, you should be putting aside into your personal account as well.
Do you think that trading is for everyone?
No,
or do you
I don't
education?
think trading is for everyone, no.
If you could mention 3 things that makes traders successful. Welcome to our interview. As we continue on our journey, today we are in Cape Town with James, a former rugby player who got into trading. Hello, James.
Hello, good to be here, guys. Amazing.
How did you get into trading in the first place?
Yeah, so it's a long story, but to make it simple, I finished school in East London. I went to a school called Selborne College, all boys school, and decided I want to play rugby after school. That was my passion. Sports, I love playing different types of sports, cricket, triathlon, whole bunch of stuff. And I decided I want to go to Durban to play rugby. So I got into that, and I was studying my BCom degree at the same time. But while doing that, I ended up having a bad knee operation after a bad injury. And I realized that there's a lot more to life than just rugby and sports. And it's also a very limited time, right? Like you get to about mid-30s and what you do afterwards. I saw a lot of guys come to a crossroads in their life. So I started seeing for other ways to make money. And actually I met a guy called Wayne, who Cameron knows, but he introduced me to trading, and that's how I kind of got into it. My dad is a chartered accountant by profession with his own company. So is my now father-in-law, who's also got his own company and doing that. So I was always, around finances and that sort of thing, but never really got into it myself. And that's when I was like, I want to see this for myself, and that's how my interest in trading kind of grew. Yeah.
What was it like to start trading?
I think for the first 6 months, I didn't know what a stop loss was. So that makes things very interesting, right? So very tough in the beginning, trying to navigate the financial markets. And I probably would have been better off by investing into like a long-term ETF or something like that. But very, very challenging in the beginning. But as you know, I think most things in life, if it's easy, everyone will do it. So you have to kind of. But from the rugby background, my competitiveness to learn and get better every single day, that's what you need in trading as well. In any high career.
I think. Especially the mindset that you had as a rugby player, competitiveness, discipline, it helps you a lot in trading, right?
Correct, yeah. As you can see, my shirt actually never give up. Like you have to keep on, pressing when the chips are against you, and you can't just throw in at the first sign of failure. And then if everyone just quit at the first sign of failure in any sports, particularly rugby, I never got selected for every single team that I wanted to. I actually came back after my knee operation and actually played with a couple of rugby players that are actually now playing for South Africa. So I came back, I never quit. I came back and did that too. So it's like anything, you have to just keep pressing, like the perseverance.
Tell me, what were the biggest mistakes that you made at the beginning of your trading career?
I think maybe comparing myself to others. You see guys online kind of showing like this easy type of lifestyle, trading from a laptop, from the swimming pool or whatever it is. And it just couldn't be further from the truth. So I think maybe comparing myself to others, but in terms of technical aspects, maybe trading with no stop loss is got to be the worst one.
If you could give one advice to people that are just starting out, what would it be?
Just stay focused on you and your goals and what you want to do in your trading, because everyone's got different goals. Some people are looking for an extra source of income. Other people are looking to see what this can bring, later on down the line. Because when I first got into trading, I didn't know that I wanted to make this my career. I was just looking to make a little bit of some extra money on the side, and it ended up falling in love with it. Yeah.
So what is your long-term goal? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, that's tough, because as I said, I've just off camera, I've just become a dad 4 months ago. If you had told me 10 years ago that I'll be a dad, I wouldn't have told you that. But got married, had a child. So I think I like to live in the present. I think like with anything, you don't know what's going to bring, in next week even. So just staying in the present, but just being in the present and taking one day at a time. I think that's kind of like my goals right now is, and if whatever happens, you know, just try to be the best that you can.
Tell me, how long did it take you to become profitable in trading?
Yeah, so I actually didn't start with prop firms. I started with personal capital, because when I started was around August 2018 when I first ever took my first trade. And it was on currency pairs, you know, and basically after about a year and a half, I would say, of losing, I finally started to find a little bit like where I made money for like 6 months in a row. I actually found someone online called Austin Silver, who I now work with. We have a coaching program together. I trade with him live every single day as well. And he's based in America, in Tampa Bay. And basically from there, that's where after I met him and you know, he started to give me a little bit of guidance. After about 6 months, I was like, I've started to make money consistently for 6 months. And that's when I started to actually get a lot of private backing via family members. And that's when I started to build up a bit. And then in 2020, I had my first 6-figure year, but not with prop firms, with personal capital. Nice. And then obviously prop firms became quite pivotal as well. Yeah.
So what was the turning point that switched you from unprofitable to profitable trader?
I think the biggest thing for me, and still can be to today, is I'm very competitive, from the sporting background. So accepting that you're going to have losing days, even sometimes losing months, So, that losses are a natural part of trading. You can still lose a couple of trades in a week and have a profitable week, or lose a couple of trades and take a payout of the prop firm account. So for me, accepting losses are a natural part of trading, and getting past that, I think that was probably the biggest thing for me. And then once I controlled because I think for many traders, they can actually make money. It's like they'll make money for let's just say for 3 weeks, and then they'll have 1 week in the month where they lose absolutely everything, and that sabotages their whole month. So just controlling those poor days.
If we talk about risk management, do you have some certain rules?
Yeah, so different things will be different. So for personal accounts, I never really risk more than 2% of my trading capital. That's like a set standard. Sometimes I will risk more because it might be a great setup. Yeah. But you have to find what you are. This is something I've learned, is that everybody's got a different risk tolerance. I can endure bigger losses because I've seen, I've been doing this for 7-8 years now, whereas other traders might want to only risk like 0.5% or whatever it is. You've got to find a number that suits you. But yeah, risk management is definitely got to have a plan for that.
I love your Twitter, or X.
Thank you. Yeah, so,
X. And you recently wrote, "Want to trade full-time? Start acting like you are building a 10-year career, not chasing a 10-day payout. Yes. Long game, real freedom."
Yeah. No, I think, I like posting. I love X, by the way. I think I've been able to connect with so many great traders. I love social media. I think that if it's used in the right way, you can connect with a lot of great people. So I like posting to X because I think I also have for me, I see it like an obligation to give the correct trading advice to people that want to do this, as a career or want to make money from it. But yeah, from that tweet, I think a lot more traders, if they look long term, instead of trying to make money in 10 days and they think like 10 years down the line, they would give themselves a much better chance. For example, I got a BCom degree. I didn't do it for 6 months and then finish my degree. I had to do it a year longer, 4 years. So things take time. Same as rugby. I only got my first rugby contract when I was 18. But I'd been playing rugby since before I could walk. I was playing with a rugby ball, So everything like that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight.
Was there a moment that you wanted to give up trading?
Yeah, there has been, definitely. Losses suck. There's no other way to put them. I don't know, if you got a perseverance and you got the characteristics that I think like perseverance, resiliency, competitiveness, and always willing to learn, I don't think you can ever quit. Yeah.
I love your attitude.
Yeah.
It's actually you never give up, right?
Yeah.
You always try to compete. I think that there are not that many people that have your attitude and your mindset from rugby, right? So how do you develop the trading mindset that you never give up, you stay focused, disciplined?
Yeah, I think it's learned personally. I think my dad was quite tough on me growing up, and you got to always give your best, and no matter what you do, good's not good enough. You got to always try and be better, and I think that's a good mindset to have. So I was brought up like that way, and where I wasn't really given, anything. I had to earn it. And I think you can teach that yourself in trading as well. It's like how bad do you really want it? For me, obviously now I've got motivation, I've got a wife, I've got a son that I want to take care of and provide and give the best opportunities in life for them. So you got to find your why. I think, a lot of people say, obviously we're here to make money. That's of course. But I think once it reaches a certain point and you're making good money, I think that you have to have a bigger reason for that. It's not like, money's cool, but then, you have to have some form of reason to keep you during those losing patches, which are inevitably going to come in your trading,
You are a full-time trader. When was the moment you decided to go full-time?
Yeah, so I, as I said, I had my first six-figure year in 2020. COVID was really, really nice. Markets were moving obviously quite aggressively. And I had just finished my degree and I decided I'm going to go full-time now. And I actually sat in a 6-month drawdown on my personal trading account, which was quite tough mentally as well, because now I'm having to pay bills from that account and whatnot. So I did that for about a year where I only had trading as my only source of income. And what I started to do is I started to build other forms of income. I started to do a few other things, with family, stuff like that. And then I did the coaching, we'll do the coaching, the content, stuff like that. And I always say to traders, I don't think that your goal should be to trade full time, because sometimes the markets aren't great and you can be sitting for a week with no setups, and now you're forcing things. I think you should have multiple ways of making money. I think it's a smart business thing to do, and that's what I always tell people that I come into contact with. I say I wouldn't trade full time personally, and for me, my only source of income is not from trading. I think that would be just silly, because what happens if I sit in another 6-month drawdown and I don't have any income? I'm going to be quite pressured, right? So yeah, that was about end of 2020. As I said, I went full time, and then kind of I've been doing that ever since. Yeah.
If we talk about profitability, how profitable are you?
Yeah, so I've had, as I said, multiple 6-figure years in US dollars. I've had a few number of good payouts as well from prop firms too, because that obviously became quite a thing in about 2021. I was kind of the first guy in my group to kind of pick up prop firms. I first started trading with a number of prop firms, and then I've had multiple 6-figure payouts as well from them. But these days I really don't swing hard for the payouts. I kind of get like a bigger funding behind me, and I'll aim for like 1% to 2% per payout cycle. Yeah.
So what is your experience with prop firms?
I love them. I think they're the best things that has happened to retail traders, because if you want to risk someone else's, if you don't want to risk your own money, you can just get a prop firm account and it makes sense, right?
Do you trade also with your own capital or just with prop firms?
So I do both. I think that every trader should be trading both. I think if you're making money from prop firms, you should be putting aside into your personal account as well. Personally, for me, in my personal trading account last year, I did 50% return on investment. This year, I'm up, in the teens. So every year is going to be different, and I think that on a personal account, obviously you're going to have different goals to what you want to do on a prop firm account. Maybe you're going to be more aggressive on a prop firm account. I don't know. You got to come up with your plan, but I think you definitely should be trading with both.
So you have different strategies for your own account and for
strategies, as in maybe risk strategies, not actual trading setup strategies. I'll still take the same trades, just maybe with different risk parameters.
What's the difference?
Sure. So like a personal trading account, obviously if I lose 2% of my, let's use this as an example. Let's say if for a prop firm account you have 10% drawdown, right? And I lose 10% on my prop firm account. Technically, I didn't lose 10% of $100,000. I lost the money that I paid for the prop firm challenge. But if I've got $100,000 in a personal trading account and I lose 10%, I've now lost real $10,000. So I protect my personal account more. As I said, if I can do more than 20% a year on my personal capital, I'm going to be really happy with that. And whereas prop firms, I might be a little bit more aggressive on, because I'm only risking that initial fee, that you pay for, essentially. Yeah.
What was your biggest payout?
I've had a couple of payouts in about the mid-teen, $15,000 payouts. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Did you buy anything nice for your wife?
I actually, I bought her engagement ring with it.
Nice one. Let me go back to your Twitter, because some of the tweets were really nice. Trading isn't a sprint to retirement, it's a career. The faster you try to make it, the faster you will break.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, long-term thinking, right? I think for me as well, like the better I've thought in terms of a like 10-year plan. You asked me about a 10-year plan. The more long you can think in trading, I think you give yourself a better chance. I think if you come in and you like expect to make $1 million in the next year, it's just the wrong mindset to do. I mean, what other career can you just get into and you're making $1 million, the next year? Not many, right? But trading is one of those careers that you can go from like zero to, making great money if you put the time into it, and see it as like a real career, not just a get rich quick scheme.
Do you think that trading is for everyone?
No.
Or do you need some certain skills?
I don't think trading's for everyone, no. After working with a couple of, probably over 500 traders in the last couple of years, I don't think trading's for everyone, no. Just because some people aren't wired with certain characteristics maybe that they need to get over. Can they work on it? 100%. But sometimes I don't think people, they truly accept the risks that trading does carry.
So what characteristics should every trader have?
Work ethic. I think work ethic is definitely one that you're not going to come in and, as I said, make a $15,000 payout tomorrow with a prop firm. You're not going to do that. So work ethic. I also think self-awareness is a great one. You got to be self-aware. Like I know my strengths now. I work with a performance coach every single month that I hire full time because I always want to get better. And I think self-awareness is definitely one that I've been working on myself. And then another one I think is personally, I don't think great traders, or at least for me, can have big egos because otherwise you're just going to expect to win all the time, and that's not going to happen. I think if you just drop your ego, some traders aren't willing to listen to advice from others that could actually help them. So I think humbleness is another nice one to add.
You have been trading over 8 years, right?
7-8 years.
7-8 years. But you mentioned that you are still working with a high performance coach.
Yes.
Is there anything you can improve after 7-8 years of trading?
Oh, definitely. I'm not making $1 million a year yet, so definitely there's always something to improve on. It's something that we did in the rugby game as well. Like a big part of it is the psychology background of like priming the mind to perform at your best, and understanding when you're performing at your best. So I hire a performance coach full time because I want to be better. That's just me. It's who I am. Yeah.
If we talk about mistakes, do you still make the same mistakes, or the mistakes are different at the beginning of your trading career and now?
Do I make mistakes? 100%. I make mistakes all the time. I just don't. I think that where I was 5 years ago, I don't make the same mistakes as often. Do I still make mistakes? 100%. No one's perfect, right? Like in February, I lost a bunch of my prop firm accounts simply because my son was born. I was, distracted. I lost a bunch of accounts. That's going to happen. So I make mistakes all the time, but I think what you got to do is you got to get back up and bounce back from them. You're not going to be, it's not going to be perfect every single week. That's for sure.
Absolutely. You mentioned that you have family, right?
Yes.
You have some other businesses as well. Can you walk us through your daily schedule? Yeah,
sure. So daily schedule, I'm normally, I'm not up at 5 a.m. like these guys that are going to say that type of stuff.
Meditating?
Meditating. No, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm waking up to a baby crying. I'll get up, because of American hours, I work with a lot of the American guys. So I mainly trade, I like trading the DAX, so the German index, and I love trading the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, which are US markets. And I work with American traders. So I'm up actually about until, I live in Ballito, South Africa. So time zone wise, it's about 6 hours ahead of American Eastern time at the moment. So I'm normally going to bed at about like 10 p.m. South African time. And, obviously that's quite late. So I'm not really waking up too early. I'm getting up at about like 7 o'clock, going to gym, and then I'm coming back, spending time with my wife. That's the beautiful thing about trading that I love. It has been able to create that there's different types of wealth as well. There's like family wealth, relationship wealth as well. And I love spending time with my wife and friends and that in the mornings. And then basically at around about 1 p.m., the market's going to open at 3:30 p.m. South African time at the moment, the New York Stock Exchange. And that's about the time, 1 p.m. I get onto the desk, start seeing what's happening overnight, stuff like that. And then I'll have a couple of coaching calls. And then I get into the trading day. I'll trade for a couple of hours. And then I will have dinner and maybe have 1 or 2 calls in the evening. And then that's kind of like my day. Yeah.
And do you do journaling as well?
I do journal, yes. Yeah.
Is it really essential for trading?
Personally, I'm not writing long essays like Shakespeare journals, but I am journaling. I definitely think that if you want to give yourself a chance at making money long term, can you make money not journaling? Yeah, you probably can. But I think if you want to be better and try and learn from your mistakes that you are inevitably going to make, I think you should be journaling. Yes. Yeah.
If you could mention 3 things that makes traders successful,
Yeah.
but in the long run, what would that be?
You know, growth mindset, resiliency. So learning how to bounce back from mistakes, you know, failures, and maybe the last one is focus. Staying focused on yourself. You know, not trying to compete with anyone else. There's always going to be someone making more money than you or having bigger payouts than you, but just staying focused on yourself and your goals and what you want to do on the desk.
If you felt challenge, sometimes you feel like it's the end of the world.
Yep.
What would you advise to people not to feel so down?
Well, I'll start off by saying this one quote that I liked. I love playing golf. That's what I love playing in my spare time. But now that I don't like, I don't really watch rugby actually much anymore, but I enjoy my golf. Tiger Woods said when he had his failures and everything like that, he said, it's not what you achieve that determines your career, it's what you overcome. You know, so in any career, you're going to, you know, face setbacks and, you know, maybe life-changing, you know, going down a different course. I think, and sometimes failing a prop firm challenge can be like that. I mean, I failed plenty and still managed to get payouts and be net profitable with them. So I think in terms of that, I would say, you know, what did you do wrong? Okay, go and look at your statistics. First of all, what did you know, maybe take a break first. Take a break first, probably be a great thing. Then go look at your stats. What did you do wrong? How can you improve? And then make a plan to come back from it and actually stick to that plan. Because, you know, you can't carry on doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That's just not smart. So yeah, I think, take a break, because again, also what I always tell myself when I have a loss or lose a prop firm challenge or, you know, have a bad trading day, because they still happen, is that, you know, I'm not my trading results. You know, I'm still a husband, a wife. No, I'm not a wife, but I have a wife, I have a son, I'm a husband. But you know, I'm more than my trading results. There's other things outside of trading that actually give me purpose. So that's probably the first thing, and then just come back with a plan and then stick to that plan. That's my advice. I mean, there's not really some special thing that is going to, you know, special trading strategy that's going to make you profitable or anything like that. I think, you know, if there was a strategy that made everyone profitable, they would all be trading the same way. We would all be trading the same way, every single trader, right? But it's not. It's each individual trader. You know, it's their mindset, their characteristics, how they approach failure, how they approach winning, and you know, moving on. So that's what I would say if you've recently failed challenges.
You just mentioned that you have a little baby, 4 months.
Yeah, Beckham.
How do you balance family life and trading?
Yeah, it's it definitely it definitely is a tough one. I've had to learn, like everything. I don't know all the answers, and I think for me is you know, making sure that you are experiencing life outside of trading. I think, you know, sometimes when you're winning, you can get too involved in your trading, and then when you're losing, it also takes its mental toll on you. So what I like to do is as I've just mentioned, my daily schedule, I like to stick to like being routine. I think the more in routine I am, the better I can be in terms of my performance. But just making sure that I'm spending time with my wife, Amanda, my son, Beckham, and making sure that there's a lot more, knowing that there's a lot more to life than just my trading results. So just being, you know, deliberate with spending time with them, I would say.
Last question, how to build the winning mindset?
Yeah, how to build the winning mindset. That's a great question. And I think it takes years of, you know, I'm still young. I'm only 26 years old, so I still got a lot to learn. But I think building the winning mindset is I always say this, is learn from others. That's why we have other people in life that are being along this journey, that are a lot further than me. You know, I look up to guys like Anthony Crudelli. You might guys know him on Twitter or X. And I look up to guys like that, have been through lots of, you know, winning, losing, and still come out of it at the end. So building the winning mindset it's just time, learning from your experiences and from others.
James, thank you for your time.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure doing the interview with you. And good luck.
I appreciate it.